Welcome into the CHGO White Sox postgame show, presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO and you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Welcome into Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm Sean Anderson, the host of the CHGO White Sox postgame show. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson, and you can follow the show on Twitter at CHGO_White Sox. We'll be joined from Guaranteed Rate Field by Vinnie Duber, the CHGO White Sox beat writer, and I'm joined in studio by my good friend, Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow Herb on Twitter at Ectorwall23. He's the CHGO White Sox community leader. Herb, why so down?
I'm not down. I just hate the White Sox.
Oh, the White Sox lost 2-1. They fall to 51-51 on the season. It's their 18th time falling to 500 on the year. 102 games of this, Herb, and it has just been mediocre baseball. And something that I think that we could do is just scream about it. So I think we can give ourselves a minute to just scream any frustrations we have about the White Sox out. All right? So if you're listening to this loud, it might get even louder, so you might just want to get a heads up. Steven, do we have a minute on the clock?
I do. I'm ready for you.
All right. Well, Herb, I'm ready if you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Steven, give us a 3, 2, 1.
In 3, 2, 1.
Another pathetic fucking game for this team. Are you goddamn serious? This team just hits ground balls after ground balls after ground balls. This team has no plate approach, can't walk, can't hit a homer, can't elevate a goddamn ball, and their manager's falling asleep in the dugout before the game started. I'm falling asleep inning after inning after inning, seeing pathetic at-bat after pathetic at-bat against a guy who has an ERA over 4. The one thing the White Sox can do is hit left-handed pitching. Oh, but not Daniel Lynch, my friend. Not so fast, because he's got their number. It's not like this guy's been pitching in your division his whole damn life. There's no scouting report, Herb. It's just like Mike Kadire, but the absolute opposite. Some bum just handed it to you again. And there's no resolution coming. There's no cavalry coming at the trade deadline. They're not getting shit. They got one bullpen arm, and you better be happy with it.
Wow, you just took it over.
I thought you would be screaming with me.
No, man, I wanted people to hear what you said, because what you said was real. The fucking Royals, they're the worst team, and they are beating the White Sox this year. They've played 9 times. They have 5 wins versus your Chicago White Sox, the team that is supposed to be dominating this division and looking forward to a World Series berth. No, we're out there throwing out Jose Ruiz in a high-leverage situation in the 8th inning when we spent $27 million on our bullpen. Just, Jose Ruiz. I know he got the job done, but damn it, that shouldn't be the thing. It shouldn't be, hey, yes, Jose got 3 outs there. Good job. It should be, okay, Kendall Graveman got a couple outs. Oh, my God, Joe Kelly got a couple outs there. Even if Jimmy Lambert, who's earned that much more than anybody else in the bullpen, should have got those outs in the 8th inning. We are too much reliant on bottom of the barrel of the roster people to get runs all the time.
Well, here comes Leury Garcia, and that's the reason the White Sox even have a run this game. He's the run scorer in the 7th inning, and he reached on an infield single, because that's all Leury can do. Is Leury can hit balls that might get out of the infield or might dribble in front of the pitcher and catcher, and they have to make a good defensive play. But it's not power. It's not anything special. I mean, Salvador Perez just hit a ball 452 fucking feet. You think that the White Sox are playing with completely different balls in a completely different weather environment against a pitcher who is probably, was a headline of a Chris Sale trade. I mean, that's probably how good Daniel Lynch is with the way he pitched today.
He is now 11 1/3 innings of shutout baseball versus the White Sox. 11 1/3 for a guy that's got a 5 ERA coming into this game. He lowered to, I think, 4.76 because the White Sox are terrible.
He wasn't even the planned starter.
No, he struck out 7 White Sox, and mostly it was fastball, changeup, slider. And it was good. It wasn't great where you're striking out 7 times versus dude, and at the end of the game, when you need your big stars to show up, Tim, I was like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Do what you do. But you see Tim fucking hit the ball and pull. Mm-hmm. Like when Tim's going good, he's hitting the ball to right field or hitting the ball to right center. Instead, Tim pulls the ball, GIDP to end the game. So disappointing.
Tim Anderson in the 7th inning. He had a 2-0 count and then grounded out right to the catcher. Andrew Vaughn to end the 7th inning after Yohan Moncada walked with runners on first and second. I mean, he missed on a fastball dead middle. I mean, just 97 miles per hour. He was ahead in the count, and this was just after the pitcher Coleman just walked a guy as well. He literally just swung and missed on a 1-1 pitch. It's brutal. And, I mean, Jose Abreu looked bad as well. He ended up poking one to left field, but it was off a count that he got down 0-2. He went out, reached out, lunged at a slider, and ended up pulling it, so you're not going to generate a ton of power there. And even Vidon made a point earlier, they're looking fastballs. They can't even hit the fastball. I mean, even what they're looking for, they can't fucking hit. And everyone's favorite clown, Frank Minichino, had this quote back in April. I used this quote when they faced Daniel Lynch back on April 26th. We're getting slider to death. We're getting off speed to death. We've been more aggressive, especially on the fastball, and teams have recognized that. And now they're going to try to make us have patience. They're going to tease us in and out of the zone, especially with off speed. If you're not taking your walks, you're falling into the plant. That's been what they've fallen into for the past 4 months. That was said in April during the 9-game losing streak, and they haven't changed shit. 1 walk today. This guy has control issues. It's the reason why Daniel Lynch isn't in the Royals starting rotation. This guy can't make the Royals starting rotation, but he can shove it down your throat night in and night out. I'm surprised Aller didn't have a better game against you guys. These guys who are overthrowing fastballs, that are struggling to find the zone, that are giving you 1-0 counts, you're consistently not doing any damage. You're leaving Michael Kopech out to dry after he had just one of, if not his best start of his career. I understand he had the 2 home runs. People bring up the New York starts, but I mean, it's probably top 5 for me. I really loved what we saw from Kopech tonight, and he got no fucking help.
I mean, those are 2 mistakes, and today I don't think he had the grip on the curveball as well as he did with the slider. And you throw a high mistake, off-speed mistake to Salvi Perez, throw anything in the zone to Salvi Perez, I think is a mistake, especially because there's nothing behind him that scares you. So you throw that pitch off the plate to Salvi, he'll probably offer at you. And if he does walk, that's be one of the few walks he's had. So you just tip the cap and say, hey, man, good job, Salvi. I'll face Hunter Dozier next and take my chances versus him, okay? And he crushed the ball 450 feet. That's a mistake by Michael. He wanted to challenge Salvi in a 0-0 game. That's foolhardy. That's pride fucking with your head. And then you get the hanger there to Whit Merrifield. 2 solo home runs shouldn't cause you to lose a game. Ever. That's it. You want solo home runs. Michael otherwise was pretty good, pretty dominant. I know the strikeouts weren't up where the Daniel Lynch 7 strikeouts were, but I thought Michael was controlling the fastball. It's back up to 98 miles per hour. His slider looked crisp. He's in control today. He should have a W today, but he now has the same exact record as Daniel Lynch with 4-7. Garbage.
It's just garbage. And hey, I mean, we even see it with Dylan Cease. Last 12 starts, 4 earned runs allowed, and you go back, and one of the games he lost was against the Tigers, where the White Sox lose 2-1, and they got Bo Brisky on the mound. You don't even know who Bo Brisky is at home. You don't remember that game. You blocked it out. You put it with the other 2-1 pile. You put it with the other games that they couldn't muster any offense in. And our guy, Paul Correct, love him because he's always supporting us, but the White Sox had, I think, 7 hard hit balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's asking where the exit velocity is. They had 7 balls that were hit hard, 95 miles per hour or harder. There was 1 ball that actually had a positive launch angle, and that was Andrew Vaughn's double at 21 launch degree angle. We talked about this with Paul. The Astros hit the ball basically as hard as the White Sox do, but they elevate the ball. Andrew Vaughn's single, 112, it was a 2-degree launch angle that skipped through the infield. Jose Abreu's line out that went 8 degrees, not high enough for an actual line out to get out of the infield. Andrew Vaughn, again, the double, that was 21 launch angle. Eloy Jimenez hit one into the ground at minus 22. Yohan Moncada hit a single that I'm guessing is 0 launch angle because they didn't list it. Tim Anderson, ground ball into double play, minus 8 launch angle. Tim Anderson single, minus 1 launch angle. So they're just hitting the ball into the dirt completely. Even when they get a fastball, even when they get their pitch, even when it's in the middle of the plate, they're not getting any lift on the ball. The only player that I think has consistently done that recently is Eloy Jimenez.
Yeah, and that's why he has a 7-game hitting streak. In the major leagues, ground balls are outs, especially with the White Sox. They're grounding the ball, and they're getting out. They are a team that should be hitting the ball in the air just naturally because of the power that they have. Eloy Jimenez has natural power that if he sometimes just hits the ball in the air, those balls will travel out. I don't know who's on these people. I don't know if it's Frank Menachino. I don't know if the guys are nervous. Something's happening where these guys do not hit the ball in the air out of the ballpark at home. Again, out-homered by another team that shouldn't out-homer you at your own crib. 2-0 by the Kansas City Royals, and you lose.
Yeah, you lose. God damn it, you lose again to the Royals, the teams that you should be taking care of business. I mean, that's the thing, too, that's probably most frustrating about this is the White Sox are fighting for the division. The one thing that we said before this whole thing, before all of this even started, before there was, even a season, like we were still locked out at this point. We said the White Sox need to handle business within their own division. This is not handling business. You losing 2-1 to the Tigers, you losing 2-1 to the Royals should not happen. Period.
Hey, Sean, we are in the 19-game stretch where the White Sox are playing subpar teams.
Another one.
This is the 6th game. What is their record?
3-3.
Boom! Yeah, the 500 White Sox are consistent,
They're back,
even versus
baby.
bums.
Yeah, they are. Jared Foss with the super chat. My
My man, Jared.
Shout out to Jared. Thank you very much. Steven, our producer Steven, we're going to actually need you to slide into douche mode here. I'm going to call you Steve because Herb, you don't golf.
Not really.
I don't golf, so I don't know what this means. So Steve, our resident,
I got you guys.
quote unquote D-bag here, says this reminds me of being in a golf scramble where every dude is hammered. I get that idea. People are drunk, and you're hoping someone can hit a drive straight. What's a golf scramble?
So a scramble is where you're, I believe you're going to play the best ball. So say there's 4 of you, all 4 you hit, and you pick which ball you like the best, and everyone plays from that next shot.
Okay.
But if you play a scramble and all of them suck, like the White Sox, then you're going to be playing shit balls from 200 feet away.
You're going to be playing balls from the edge of the
this is
infield if you're
bachelor
lucky.
party golf is what he's referring to.
All right. Well, shout out to Jared for that one, and thank you, Steve, for breaking it down to us. Yeah, I mean, if they're playing a golf scramble, they'll be hitting into the edge of the infield.
Did we get another one? Or was that
We
just
did get an
Jared down
info.
there?
Shout out to Jake. Jake says,
Neverman.
Yeah, my guy Jake with the $5 super chat. I look like I need a hug. He doesn't need a hug. His team just acquired Frankie Montas.
Oh, my God.
And Lou Trevino. The guy I wanted, goes to the Yankees. Rich get richer.
Is he from New York? Is his dad New Yorker? Is his mom New Yorker?
Trevino?
No, Jake Neverman.
Oh,
Is he from here and just chose him?
He's not from here. He's from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works, Jake. I just hate people who choose the Yankees, just because of the Yankees. You gotta have some. Adversity in your life.
He's told me why. I think he's a Jeter kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Jake is. Most adversity he's had is being a Sixer fan, I think.
Okay.
So that's a tough one. We got White Sox Tom chanting in with FIRE Tony. Oh, fire Tony. What do you think? Should they fire Tony Herb, or are we 2 months late on that after we called for his firing back on June 9th?
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we all feel it. We all want it. It's not gonna happen. The team and the owner and the general manager and the vice president of baseball operations are scared of Tony. They're never going to fire him. They're going to allow him to do his thing and have this team be mediocre up until the end. Look at my guy, Connor. He got $2 in Canadian. This is like $1 million American.
This is our 3rd different currency.
Buy a nice hardcover
Guys,
book with
I'm
that.
sorry. Yeah, KPW brought up his name again. Daniel Lynch, and the boogeyman appeared again, and he dominated. 5 1/3. 7 strikeouts, no runs. Daniel Lynch, the best pitcher ever.
It's ridiculous. It's truly ridiculous. I don't remember a bum like this just slaying the White Sox? I mean, over the past 4 years, I know that, but like short memory.
I'm about to say, old White Sox fans are like, Royals is like Cy Chen.
Bruce Chen coming out here. Let's go back 4 years because I don't think Bruce Chen was pitching then. I mean, is there any pitcher that you could think of that has given the White Sox this much trouble when they've been decent, right? I mean, I can't think of a player that is like Shane Bieber's given them trouble, but that's a Cy Young, right?
And then they got to him.
Yeah.
One of those starts. We'll never, ever hit Daniel Lynch. And this is the thing. He's the thing that the White Sox crush. Since 2020, they've been the best hitting team versus lefties. And Daniel Lynch is like, I don't give a goddamn. I own you dudes. Now what? Oh, there's got Cy Mays out there, Jared, digging in the crates for old school guys who used to dominate the White Sox.
I don't even know.
But this is even more frustrating. Like, Joe would go and pitch well versus some other team and then dominate the White Sox. We call him Cy Mays. And Cy Chen would always beat the White Sox. But this is the most glaring part of it. As you said, this was supposed to be Brad Keller. If the White Sox get shut down by Brad Keller, that's par for the course. That happens all the time. This guy wasn't supposed to start, and he got the ball, and he's like, oh, who's on the – what? Man, oh, man, my favorite team's over there, the White Sox. Let's eat. He's like, knife, fork,
here's my get right game.
Yeah.
here's my time to get back on track is the – Central Division favorites. I mean, again, 102 games at this point.
Are they still the betting favorite too?
No, I think the Twins are still favorite.
Okay.
I mean, and two, it's kind of crappy just because we didn't want to believe it when it was in our face. It was in our face that this team in April clearly had issues. I mean, clearly we were saying, what's wrong with this team? What's going on? The bad, rough start. We knew something was up with this team. But the fact that it's continued to this level where they really haven't even pulled away from that at all. They pulled away a little bit in July, having a decent run, but still like one game above 500 in July. I clearly this team is this team, and it's just so shocking to see a 93-win team turn into this, because even the Twins last year, the Twins had a hell of a lot more injuries, way less talent, and they still and sold off Jose Barrios, sold off pieces at the deadline. Like, this White Sox team might get a full shot to just go 500. They are going to get the full shot to go 81-81 this year with their full talent. And I understand that there's been injuries. Robert's still out. Grandal's dealt with injuries. Aloy's dealt with injuries. But at this point, you've had enough of Tim Anderson. You've had enough of Andrew Vaughn. You've had enough of Jose Abreu. And you've gotten enough good pitching to get you more wins at this point. Our guy Steven Gottright, who has been a very active member in the CHGO Discord as well. So shout out to Steven. Dropping a $10 super chat. Tony sleeping just like the Chicago White Sox offense. Let's talk about Tony falling asleep there. Weird. What did you think of that? I didn't think of it too much. I just thought, like, hey, maybe, they just caught him at a bad moment there. But the more I watch it, it does look like whoever was sitting next to him did elbow him, and it looked like he did wake up.
Yes, his eyes are tired. He's sleepy. He's like, ugh. And you would think that NBC Sports Chicago wouldn't, put him in a bad light, but they give no fucks. Maybe they've been given the green light by certain people to make Tony look bad, because why would you do that to your manager out there? You got a candid shot. It wasn't like a live shot of him. It was a candid shot they came back from a commercial with to introduce the Sox lineups, I believe.
That was a live feed.
I don't think it was. I thought it was a candid, and they had run B-roll on that, and they just wanted to roll that back. So I think that no matter what, they want to give Tony a bad look and make him look bad out there in the dugout. It's weird.
I would be pretty shocked to see if that was B-roll, just because it does sound like the crowd is live behind.
No, I'm saying they
Stoney.
can just roll it, but also have, this is Tony's lineup. This is Tony. It's just weird to have him sleep in the dugout and show that as your presenting thing. I was like, oh my God, White Sox Twitter is going to go wild with that. That's going to be the thing. Not only White Sox Twitter went wild with it, John Boy went wild with it. Starting 9. It's a national embarrassment again. How many times are we going to do this? White Sox are if they bring up the name, they're like, oh man, that's who you got. You got the guy who goes to sleep in the dugout, the guy who walks a dude with 1-2 counts. That's who you're going with. Still?
No,
all right.
I mean, you're still playing Leary all this time. I mean, we saw Josh Harrison end up getting the game. He's not injured. He's not hurt. I mean, obviously, he just played 3 games against Oakland, 3 straight, so maybe that's why he's getting the breather. But I don't understand the trust in Leury Garcia, and obviously he clearly trusts Leury Garcia. It's not his fault that he's on the roster, and Tony's got to play every guy on the roster, but it is just really frustrating because there's so many different things that people could get upset with him about, and this is just another thing. We got to tell you right now about PointsBet, the best way to support CHGO is download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all the web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out. And PointsBet's your home for live in-play betting, and it just got even better. If you see an edge in the game you're watching, if your favorite team is primed for a comeback, don't just watch the game, bet along with it live. There's more live betting, more live markets, and faster live cash-outs with the PointsBet app. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate your live betting game. Download the PointsBet app right now and use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. And our next partner, Owen. I think the White Sox should implore looking into Owen. They clearly need some protein. They clearly need some strength to lift this ball out of the park. Owen is a 100% plant-based protein shake. Owen stands for only what you need. OWYN. It's a 100% plant-based protein shake that gives you nutrition that works as hard as you do. All of their products are free of artificial ingredients, allergen-friendly, no gluten or dairy, and easily digestible. I really like the chocolate flavor. I've liked the vanilla flavor. I haven't been able to try the salted caramel one yet. I really love the strawberry banana one. I first heard about it from Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields, who follows a plant-based diet. I've really liked the way I felt after taking these, whether it be pre-workout, post-workout. I really feel refueled and energized by Owen, and right now, Owen and CHGO have partnered up to give you an awesome offer. You can get 20% off your first purchase at liveowen.com. That's LIVEOWYN.com, and with code CHGO20, you can get 20% off your first purchase again at liveowen.com. Join me and Justin Fields and try Owen. It's only what you need. One more super chat here. Any more moves we'll see from Rick tomorrow? Well, why not we go out to Guaranteed Rate Field and talk to the man who has insight? It's Vinnie Duber. He's the CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. Let's start.
Very sexy mustache.
Oh, very sexy mustache indeed. Great to see your very sexy mustache. So let's start off with Kai's super chat here. We just got one move today. Jake Diekman, new White Sox. Reese McGuire headed out to Boston. Any other moves you think that are on the table for the White Sox after this bullpen arm?
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer is yes. I would be surprised if we didn't see more. That doesn't mean that, this could be it, I suppose. But, I think the White Sox are always pretty they cast a wide net in what they're looking for. You know what I mean? I think they are working diligently this time of year. It's whether they can put together the kind of package that gets people, over to this team, over to this roster. So certainly, I don't think there's anybody out there that could say that all their needs are met and there's nothing more that they can do to improve. So certainly that's going to be happening, for Rick Hahn over the course of the next day or so. Well, not or so, the course of the next day. I mean, in my opinion, I think they probably shouldn't be done adding to the bullpen. I think tonight showed just as well as so many other games have this year that they could use some offense. They could use some power. There's a couple opportunities that Rick Hahn talked about being able to potentially add that, be it at second base, be it in right field. But yeah, power bat, and particularly one of the left-handed variety, would be pretty nice for this team. You wonder what they can do with the resources at their disposal, but I don't think anybody expected them to, fill their lefty reliever void by basically trading someone who probably didn't have much time left on this roster to begin with. So pretty no-brainer of a move here for the White Sox, because they didn't really have to give up anything, considering there was going to be a day someday soon where they couldn't have 3 catchers on the roster anymore, and the decision was going to have to be made. Sebi Zavala over Reese McGuire. They made that decision and got a lefty reliever out of it. So there you go.
Tomorrow's deadline is at 5 p.m. Central Time. We will have a live show, I believe either starting at 4 p.m. or 4:30, and it will be an hour long. We'll be covering all the deadline moves that happen throughout the MLB, and obviously the ones that are specific to the White Sox as well. It's time to talk about today's game. White Sox lose 2-1. Vinny, who'd you talk to after the game?
You watched this one. Not a lot to say about it. We did hear from Michael Kopech, obviously from Tony La Russa, but, we talked to Liam Hendricks after the game about Jake Diekman, a guy who he pitched with in the bullpen in Oakland. So certainly the more probably newsworthy stuff was in regards to that, the stuff that's going to interest White Sox fans a little bit more with the newcomer coming probably tomorrow. So, but this one was pretty self-explanatory. They didn't score any runs. They got 10 hits. None of them left the ballpark. 2 of the ones that the Royals did, and there you go. So Michael Kopech was pretty good tonight, I think. Very good, actually. Going 7 innings, 100 pitches, only gave up 2 runs. Usually, against a team like the Royals, that's going to get the job done. It did not tonight. And listen, baseball is baseball. Even the best teams are going to have days where they lose 2-1 to the Royals. But obviously the White Sox have done this far too often this year, explaining why they are still in 3rd place here as we arrive at deadline day.
And Michael Kopech usually pitches to Reese McGuire. Did he have anything to say about Reese's departure or Tony La Russa about the contributions that Reese McGuire had to the 2022 White Sox?
Yeah, Tony obviously shouted out Reese for the work that he has done this year. Obviously, a lot of compliments, especially early in the season, for what he was doing behind the plate, working with the pitchers. And you nailed it right there. Michael Kopech was very sad to see Reese McGuire go, a guy that he's thrown to almost exclusively throughout this season, one that's been very good for him. And yeah, he said, kind of a tough situation where everybody knew that 3 catchers was not going to probably be sustainable through the final 2 months of the regular season. But he enjoyed working with Reese. He thought Reese did really well, and he said everybody in that clubhouse really respected him for the way that he worked behind the scenes. So, certainly he was not somebody who made a lot of offensive contributions this year. Certainly you could say that about a lot of people on this White Sox roster to this point. But certainly his teammates really respected what maybe the cameras didn't catch during the game broadcast.
And then you talked to Liam Hendricks about the new arrival and Jake Diekman. What do you have to say about Diekman coming to the Sox?
Well, Hendricks has been talking for a while now. In fact, I was able to dig up a quote that he gave me earlier this month about, really getting guys that fit in the clubhouse, that are good fits culturally, that kind of thing. He said, obviously you want somebody who can help you between the lines, somebody who can help you put up some numbers. But the most important thing, he said, is making sure that they fit in with the clubhouse and the guys that they already have. And he says that Jake Diekman is going to do that. Said he's one of his favorite teammates that he's ever had, and that they got to bond pretty well in Oakland. Apparently their wives are very good friends from being able to bond when those two were both in Oakland. And Diekman was excellent that year that the White Sox were eliminated by the A's in the playoffs. I think he only gave up 1 run or something like that all during that shortened season, but pitched in all 3 of those playoff games against the White Sox. So he's had some pretty recent success pitching out of the bullpen, specifically with Oakland. And then, obviously things have not been going super well for him in Boston, specifically over the last couple of weeks. So, we'll see what he's able to do. Boy, the White Sox needed a left-handed reliever with no Garrett Crochet, with no Aaron Bummer. But they're focused right now on the kind of guy that he is, and we'll see what he can deliver off the mound once he steps on it for the White Sox.
On the positive side, the White Sox had 10 hits today. Negatively, 9 of them were singles. Only the double by Andrew Vaughn that was rocketed into right center field was the extra base hit. Did they talk, we always talk about hitting the ball over the fence. They talk about just putting a little bit more emphasis on slug, on doubles, triples, and hitting the ball over the fence.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you what I've told you before. The guys that are coaching this team up say that, when you're hitting the ball right, those extra bases are a result of that. And so maybe we're seeing bad luck. Maybe we're seeing guys who aren't necessarily all the way there yet, hitting the ball square on the numbers there. But at the same time, 10 hits. You get 10 hits, you should have more than 1 run. That's just kind of how it is. I don't care if they're all singles, to be quite honest with you. You got multiple hits in an inning, you should be scoring a run. I get it. People are miffed and people are looking for anything to be mad about. And today they picked, they didn't have many extra base hits. Okay. But they still had 10 hits. So you got to score runs when you have 10 hits. To lose 2-1 on a day when you get double digit hits, it's ridiculous, to be honest. And they have to do whatever they can do, even if it's 10 singles. You should be scoring more than 1 run if you get 10 singles in a game. So it's very odd to see. It's something that we've seen a lot from this team, where there have been days where you could point to a lot of offensive positives, and yet the run total on the board is not enough to win the day. So, they got to just do more. The offense needs to be better, and no matter what that means, certainly the power stands out, right? I mean, they need to hit more home runs, no doubt about that. But they can't keep having these days that are oddities where they do so much right and they still can't win it. So it's hard to explain, but certainly it is a theme this year, and it's one that's going to need to go away very quickly if they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they had 2 innings where they had 2 singles in, and the one inning they have Andrew Vaughn get a double and lead off the inning with a double. They're not able to drive home, and it's just another frustrating game. I really can't sit here and ask a question about them changing the offense because, again, we've been asked the same questions since they got shut out by Daniel Lynch on April 26th. I mean, we were befuddled then and we're still befuddled now. So it's really shocking to see. Is Tony like? A lot of people are upset with Tony because there was a shot of the NBC Sports Chicago before the game in him in the dugout. It felt like he was closing his eyes or nodding off or something.
Guys,
people,
come on.
People
come
obviously
on,
taking
guys.
it. People obviously taking it the wrong way. But this is the biggest thing that people are asking in the comments. I don't even know how you answer a question about it, but I mean, I don't know. I don't even know where to go with this. I mean, like. You're just saying, come on. I mean, do you have a thought on people sharing that video of Tony in his eyes?
Yeah, I don't think we should be talking about it, to be quite honest. I think it's people just making fun of the guy because they don't like him. That's why.
Right.
I mean, you can't do that. Every little thing a guy does. I mean, come on, they're chanting. You got people chanting "Fire Tony" when Michael Kopech walks somebody. Like Tony La Russa didn't walk the guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Michael Kopech was excellent. Yeah, everybody's freaking out. Oh my God, he brought in Jose Ruiz again. Jose Ruiz goes 1, 2, 3. What you know what I mean? You're just looking to be mad at this point. And listen, I'm not trying to defend or anything. Listen, how many times have I said the buck stops at the manager's desk? The team is disappointing as hell. If that's what you think, if you think that the team, the team performance lies on the manager's desk, then sure, okay, have that opinion. That's fine. But don't take that opinion and use it to just be mean for no reason.
Well, I have no issue with him, anything that he did in the game. I know some people even push back on him letting Kopech go to 100 pitches. I thought, especially at the bottom of the order, that was fine. It was a 2-1 game. We know Tony's typically going to roll out Jose Ruiz and Jimmy Lambert. I wasn't too shocked or upset with anything that he did in the game. I just know that people wanted me to at least get a reaction, I think, from you, especially because you just get the access to Tony.
And also, I was thinking about Michael Kopech. Goes out there and gives you 7 innings. First time, Sean looked it up, the first time he ever got to 100 pitches in a start for himself in his major league career. How did he say he felt after the game? Because he didn't get the strikeout numbers, but out there, he was pitching.
Yeah, he said he was been dealing with maybe a little bit of a tight back lately, but he'd go out there and start throwing and it would go away and he would feel good. So it was working for him. Certainly something that I'm sure he would like to not have that be the case with the back bothering him a little bit, but it was bothering him and not to the point where once like I said, he said once he started throwing in every inning that it would go away and he would feel better. So listen, this is the kind of the thing that you got to learn when you're being a starting pitcher for the first time, over the course of a full season in the major leagues, is how to deal with some of that stuff. And how many times do we say, you got to be able to win when you're not overpowering every single person. He was able to do that. In fact, he didn't even call that pitch that he threw to Salvi Perez a mistake. He said it was off the plate, and boy, Perez just got every little bit of it. So, that's the most impressive home run I've seen at Guaranteed Rate Field this year. It brings to mind that one that Eloy hit back in 2019 off, I believe it was it Jordan Zimmerman of the Nationals, I think, at the time, that ended up bouncing on the stairs to the left of the fan deck there. So whenever a ball goes out there, it looks really, really impressive, and that's what Salvi Perez was able to do today. But Michael Kopech was really good, and I think whether it was him battling through something or him just being better than the Royals, he was fantastic today, and his offense wasn't able to back him up.
And Vinny, I want to ask your opinion about the White Sox do suck offensively right now, and especially at home. I know they're not going to fire Frank Menechino for the most part, but where do they find accountability? I know we don't see it, but I'm sure behind the scenes something has to happen. What is your opinion about where they have these guys accountable for the actions of the players?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what people think is going to happen when they use the word accountability, right? What do you honestly think? When you say people need to be held accountable? What do you want that outcome to be?
Oh, I would probably say that Frank Menachito has to either get demoted and or released from his job because of the players. I know it's not his fault, but you can't fire 9 batters. So you got to fire one person and say, hey, we might need to go in a different direction. Because if his job doesn't matter in the grand scheme, then it doesn't matter, even good or bad.
And something that, going back, just going through the whole thing that we don't hear from Frank Menachino a lot. And the last thing that we heard from him was that this team, to beat other pitches, to not fall into other pitchers' plans, was to walk more. And this team has not been walking at all. I mean, they have one of the worst, if not the worst, walk rates in Major League Baseball. So I just wonder, too, when is this going to change? How is it going to change? They're not walking, so what's the accountability, or what's the reaction or chain reaction of them not walking, or them not doing their job and driving in runs? Because even when they get the singles in, they're not able to, they had first and third with Moncada and Anderson. They're still not even able to drive those runs in. So that's what I think people are wondering about.
Well, right, but you're asking for it to change tomorrow, and that seems very... Doesn't that seem unlikely? I mean, I think you're asking an entire team to change their approach tomorrow, and that seems very unlikely. Listen, have they had an approach this year that has not worked? Obviously, they don't walk.
Yeah.
They don't walk. They don't hit home runs. It's not working. The offense is not working. And how you see this from teams all the time. You see teams that fail offensively, change their hitting coach, be it in the offseason or during the season. A lot of times it happens in the offseason. And hell, you might see that from the Chicago White Sox this offseason. We will find out. But that word, that accountability word, I don't think people realize that this is the team. You know what I mean? You just said you're not going to fire 9 hitters. Right. You're not going to bench 9 guys. What sort of accountability do you want to see? Oh no, the players are not walking enough, so they're all benched. The accountability I don't understand. They're going to keep coaching them. They're going to keep telling them what they think is right. And you bring up a quote from Frank Menachino that everybody agrees with. Correct? They got to walk more, and they're not doing it. You're absolutely correct. They're not doing it. And
but
in the end of the day, maybe that's a failure on him. We're going to see who the White Sox decide that it was a failure of when the time for evaluation comes. And I understand everybody thinks the time for evaluation should have come 2 months ago, and maybe that's true. But the point being is that the question you asked me, Herb, was how are the players being held accountable behind the scenes? They're being told to do what they're supposed to be doing, and it's not happening in the games. And
I'm just saying the opposite is we heap praise on Ethan Katz because he's worked with the pitchers. They've worked his program. They've done well. So the opposite is Ethan Katz is keeping his job, even, if the whole staff is gone. Pretty much everybody believes that Ethan Katz will keep his job because he's doing well. And I know hitting coach and pitcher coach have different effects on batters, and especially when you get up to this level. But also, if the White Sox were hitting well, we'd be like, hey, man, Frank Menachino in his system doing well. I remember when Adam Engel started hitting the balls, he worked with Frank Menachino down in AAA, got it right. So I don't necessarily need him fired, but I need to say that the White Sox see that their offense is not working, and if they need to go and have a pinpoint like they did last year with the training staff, say, hey, Frank, sorry, man, they're just not listening to you anymore, whatever.
And two, this is not something I want them to change tomorrow. This is something that, again, this is a quote from Frank from April. I mean, we've been asking for them to change their approach since the beginning of the season. So that's why I'm bringing it up. It's not that they haven't changed their approach, from the Colorado series. That's been the same approach that they had when they got shut out from Daniel Lynch on the 26th. I mean, since the 26th of April, they have a 6.2 walk rate, the worst in Major League Baseball. So, I mean, again, the guy says draw more walks. They haven't done that. So, I don't know.
You're right. You're right. I think there's a difference between no shit, there's a problem, and the ability to fix that and how much time that takes. And this roster is full of hitters who last year and in 2020 and in 2019 were successful. You know what I mean? Obviously, individuals to various degrees, but those hitters have had success, and I think the White Sox are looking at it the same way you are and saying that guy right there is a good hitter. He should be hitting good. Tomorrow, maybe he'll start hitting good because he's done it before. That hasn't happened yet has been a pretty big mystery, I think. And, listen, we are starting to think, whether it's you, whether it's folks at home, whether it's me, about what sort of questions, how these questions get asked to Rick Hahn or, specifically Rick Hahn, but whoever at the end of the season, once the season is over. Because the questions that we've been asking all year long keep getting the answer of, well, look at those guys. They're those guys, and they're going to do it. They'll turn it around. Well, maybe they will. And maybe at the end of September and into October, we'll be talking about a much different performing team. But if the last 2 months look like the first 4 months, then there has to be a different answer than that. Mm-hmm. And listen, I'm sure that doesn't make anybody happy because they see that they're only back 2 games in the division and they say, well, if the answer was different yesterday, or if the answer was different 2 months ago, we wouldn't be in this position, or we could be in a better position to still be a World Series type team, but that's not the answer we're getting. And so, we're going to find out. We're going to find out in October when we have this conversation, what the actual thing is, because I think right now they don't want to make some sort of giant change that's going to, drop everybody further into problem areas.
I got a 2-parter for you. Will Rick Hahn be speaking tomorrow? Have you guys have a plan for that yet with his moves? And then also with Luis Robert, I know Tony just kind of said, that's not really my job. It's more of a trainer's thing to give the diagnosis. So what is the latest on Luis Robert? And will we be able to get more of a clearer answer from Rick Hahn tomorrow on what's wrong with Luis Robert?
I would hope so. Rick Hahn is going to speak tomorrow to sum up the trade deadline, whether it's just talking about Jake Diekman, whether it's talking about the 3 other trades he makes, whether it's anything, because that's what he does. He talks after the trade deadline. And you can bet that Luis Robert will be a topic of conversation because the people that we have been able to ask about this are not talking about it. And listen, we don't know about it. I don't want to speculate on what it is, and so I'm not going to do that. All I will say is that there is a chance that it is something that it is not appropriate to talk about, on a day-to-day basis kind of thing, be it if it's a medical thing and a non-baseball kind of thing. But Rick Hahn is the kind of guy that is the guy who usually delivers those details. The latest on Luis Robert is that he's unlikely to play in these now 2 games left against Kansas City. Tony says he's getting better. But it is unclear to a degree of what Luis Robert is still dealing with, whether it is the symptoms that put him on the injured list in the first place, or the cold symptoms that we heard about that took him out of the lineup against or during his rehab assignment in Charlotte, which obviously only ended up lasting 1 game. We saw him playing catch in the outfield today. We will see if that evolves into any more, any greater activity. But I think hearing from Rick Hahn is the next step, and seeing, if there's any answers to what has exactly been going on. Again, maybe it's something where we don't need to know exactly what's going on, but I would like somebody to say that. You know what I mean? Like I think I personally would be perfectly fine if someone said it's a private medical issue and it's not, something we want to talk about in public. And I think everybody else should be fine with that answer too, but that's not the answer we're getting. The answer we're getting is, well, I don't know. And so that's not really helpful. Again, I don't think anybody, this is not information that anybody necessarily deserves, but it is hard to figure out when he's going to be back on the field because we just really don't know much about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if this is fair to say, but would you even say it's optimistic or pessimistic, or is it still uncertain? Like, how would you just label it?
What?
The Robert news. Like, I mean, do you think the fact that he is in Chicago, the fact that Tony's even talking about they were, I guess, evaluating him for the Royal Series. Like, do you think that there might be optimism that he could play this week? Is it just more of a wait and see still opportunity, or is it just all of this information we have no idea what to do with, and it's just kind of still mysterious, even 2 weeks removed from the situation?
Yeah, I mean, sadly, I think it's probably closer to the latter. When Rick Hahn talked last, which was, I believe, the first day of the second half, he said that they were hopeful that Luis could be back for the start of the Oakland series, which was now 3 or 4 days ago. That obviously didn't happen, and now we had some other things thrown in there during his very brief rehab assignment. It doesn't sound like another rehab assignment would be something that would happen. That maybe they'd just kind of work him out here, and if he's ready to go, bring him back. But I don't know when that would be. We don't know exactly what symptoms, if you will, are still bothering him, and we're going to have to find out some more information from Rick tomorrow.
The last thing I got for you, Vinny, I see you got the Muddy Waters shirt on.
I do.
To know if you've been to the Chess Records building here in the city.
So I've walked past it before, and I've been very excited to be at down there on South Michigan Avenue. It is on my to-do list for the next couple of weeks, actually, because they have a foundation there now that is named after Willie Dixon, the great Chess Records sideman there, and songwriter and producer and all that, and they give tours. So I don't know what sort of state it is in, but I'm very excited to go down there. I'm going to spend the summer and into the off season kind of checking some stuff off the Chicago to-do list, because I've been here for short of a decade now, and still have some items on there. I got to kayak the Chicago River earlier this morning, which I had always wanted to do. So that was fun to get to do that. Yeah, they stay pretty far away. It was a Monday morning, not a lot of traffic. I would imagine if it was Saturday afternoon or something like that, it might have been a little more tricky to navigate. But it was a very calm, very nice day, and not too much boat traffic going by.
How far did you go?
So we started over at by the lake, right? So where it starts or empties into the lake. I don't know which way it goes now. They've changed it, but by the lake over all the way down to the split there, right by the merchandise mart. And yeah, we took a little lap up, or we took a little turn up north to see, the bridge hanging over there on the north branch there, and then went down to the south branch by the Civic Opera building, and then went back. So it was a nice day.
Very nice to hear. I don't know if this is on your bucket list, but the bean is very cool. You should check that out.
Sean.
Okay.
Sean. Come on, man. I know you don't get out of the house much, but dude, come on. Some of us are old enough to remember a Chicago pre-bean.
Yeah, I'm not old enough for that.
I know,
Chicago's always been beaned.
Yes.
And also credit to you on the Leary Garcia joke that you had on me. You beat me on Air Jordan or Air Leary there. But appreciate you, Vinny. He's the CHGO White Sox beat writer, and you can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber, and make sure to follow him too. He'll have all the White Sox trade news once it breaks throughout the next less than 23 hours. Thanks, Vinny.
See you guys.
Peace.
White Sox Tom wants to know how Lala was, Sean.
I didn't go to Lala. It was one after show, guys. Come on. And hey, the bean's close to that. Chicago sports fans, your home for the best Chicago sports coverage, is partnering with a leader in the sports merchandise and collectibles world. CHGO has teamed up with FOCO to secure your access to the best collectibles and gear around. Whether it's Bears, Cubs, White Sox, Blackhawks, Bulls, FOCO will have something for you, your kid, a friend, or loved one. Looking to get some new gears, collectibles, or accessories? FOCO has officially licensed gear for men, women, and kids with everything from bobbleheads to swimsuits to Crocs. I really do like some of their exclusive bobbleheads that they have. They have Luis Robert in the Southside jersey. They got Tim Anderson in a Southside jersey. They got a Dallas Keuchel Gold Glove bobblehead. People, this is the place for you. FOCO has got you covered with the best Chicago merchandise of your favorite team. Head over to FOCO.com, that's FOCO.com, or click the link below in the YouTube description. And for all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. Again, head over to FOCO.com, FOCO, or click the link below in the description. For all non-presale items, use promo code CHGO for 10% off. All right, Herb, kind of a dizzying game here.
Yeah.
And a dizzying little report there.
Did you see all these super
We got
chats we
5
still have?
super chats during that time.
Wow.
Yeah, well, let's check this out. First off, from our guy Jaxo, he said, get rid of Grandal. He's not helping the offense. Seems tough now that they just got rid of Reese McGuire.
Yeah, and Grandal, you remember him last year in the second half when he came back from his injury, was on fire. I feel that guy's still in there. He looked tough today. He looked real rough. But I feel that there's a guy that can hit multiple home runs, double-digit home runs in this second half of the season. He's close. He was doing it down there in AAA and AA. I think that guy is still in there. So I'm not going to get rid of him, even though he's been very disappointing this year.
Yeah, I would say that Grandal doesn't look good. He looked good down in AAA and AA, which is actually probably more concerning to me that he's struggling up in the major leagues. It really feels like he's not here, and it felt like he had enough time to get ready, and he's just still not here. So I'm concerned about Grandal. Getting rid of him, though, I mean, Vinny kind of told you right there. They're coming with the people that they brought with to dance with. So Grandal's not going. It feels like Grandal, Moncada, Abreu, Anderson, Vaughn, Kopech, Giolito, Cease, like all those guys are staying on this team. There's probably some other ones like Sheets that might be off, or maybe Ruiz or Lambert. But I mean, Lambert's been pretty good. Maybe those guys get rotated in or out, but I really don't see Grandal being eliminated from this roster. Our guy James said, we have a bad GM right now. Our farm system is a mess, and we're not hitting. We don't fire Lusa, and now we're stuck. Basically.
I mean, James, you're preaching out there.
Can we give him a ding?
Correct. I mean,
yeah, they're stuck.
People might like Rick Hahn, but he's doing a poor job right now. This offseason was crap. He hasn't supplemented this roster with the necessary people that they need. He can't fire the manager right now. And then where we're talking about with Vinny, like the accountability, where is it at? Like Frank Menachino is still on this team. Howie Clark's still on this team. The team can't hit at home. They can't win at home. So, yes, I don't care what people think of Rick Hahn. I think he is usually a decent GM, but right now he is failing at his job.
Yes, I would agree with that. And you just look back to the offseason when I was preaching for Kyle Schwarber. His 30-plus home runs would look real nice on the south side, a lot better than Gavin Sheets does in a White Sox uniform. Next one from our guy Jaxo. He says, I think Hahn will be getting a good starter and a left-handed bat, not a switch, not a right-handed bat, a lefty. This team is the Yankees from last year, no hitting. Hey, I mean, the Yankees still made the playoffs and still looked decently dangerous. I have no idea what they're going to do at the deadline. I was pretty shocked to see Diekman. It feels like they've had ample enough of time and opportunity to make a deal. I mean, they have not unloaded from that really thin prospect pool just yet. I don't know what the White Sox are waiting for. This is their team. They know the weaknesses on this team. We know the weaknesses on the team, still the same weaknesses that they started the year off with. So I don't understand why they're sitting on their hands, what they're waiting for, and at this point, I don't really know what to expect from the White Sox tomorrow.
And with the Ohtani thing, too, like, these moves are incongruent. Like, say if the Angels would have went through with that deal. Like, what is it? I would love to have Ohtani, don't get me wrong. But you're trading probably 3 to 4 guys on your current roster because there's no one except for Colton Montgomery available that you would think another team would want for a great pitcher, great hitter, and Shohei Ohtani. It's like you're getting 2 different players at an all-star level.
You hear the rumors of that the Angels wanted 4 prospects or the top 4 prospects from whatever team was trading for them. I think it's pretty safe to say that it was probably Colson, Colas, Vaughn, and Kopech. I know that Kopech and Vaughn aren't prospects, but from what I heard, I think that those are pretty much the 2 prospects that they gave up. I think that there was some lottery tickets as well that the White Sox probably offered some 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds that maybe could turn into something. Maybe they threw in Elijah Tatis as well, part of the lottery tickets there, and I think that they probably tried to poach players off the MLB roster, like probably Vaughn or Kopech. I think Cease would be too far. Robert would probably be too far. So I think if they made an offer to the Angels, it would probably be Vaughn, Kopech, Colas, and Colson. I think that, and then some sweeteners, but clearly it's not sweet enough.
And that's the thing. Like, does that help your 2022 team?
Ohtani?
Yeah. Does that make this team better than they were before? Yeah. Taking Vaughn off the team, taking Kopech off the team.
That guy's an MVP.
I understand that, but does that take him to the next level?
I would say so. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it takes him to the next level, but it improves the bat. It improves the team.
Then why do you do the deal then? Why do you offer that? And why do you not continue? Like, you're willing to do that far with Ohtani. Why don't you go that far with somebody else? Not that far,
I understand
but
what you're saying.
Like if you were willing to go that far and have Ohtani on your team, there should be a move that's a downshift from there that you could still do and get improvement from the other teams in major leagues. Like, you have plenty of time to do this. To wait till the last day seems asinine to me.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that that one player gives you the ability to have basically two players. The fact that Ohtani is a 26 man on that roster, but he could be a pitcher, he could be a hitter. I think it's just the ability to, if you add two players and you're getting rid of Kopech and Vaughn, you're also taking in the control factor as well of Vaughn and Kopech. So I get your point. Why not split those guys up and maybe you be aggressive in other ways? But I think that Ohtani's just such a special person that that's why at least it was leaked out that the White Sox were in contention there. Jarrett follows up with another super chat. Says, remember back in the day when we said we'd take years and years of crap for one World Series championship? Well, here we are, folks. Yeah,
we've already done that. I did that, Jarrett, when I was 12 years old, and I didn't get it until I was 26.
It feels very much like crawling through
500 yards of foul smelling shit, foulness smelling shit.
Yeah, it's like if Andy Dufresne got to the end of that tunnel, got like 500 yards of reprieve, and then got put into 1,000 yards of more shit to crawl through. I mean, like, it's been real rough. And, I mean, Steven even titled the thing Mired in Mediocrity, and here this team is not able to win the worst division in baseball.
Not close. And their two main rivals did their winning in dramatic fashion, walking off both of their teams in extra innings. But the White Sox, they're like, we're not going to win at home versus this inferior team. Twins are like, oh, yeah, the Tigers, cool. You have a 2-0 lead. We're going to come back in late in the game and then win the game on it was a Giorcello 2-run home run. What a great fellow.
Yeah.
And then the same thing where the D-backs are in Cleveland and the Guardians walk them off because they take care of business versus bums, unlike the White Sox. The only thing I have that is positive for that is the White Sox lately have been losing the first game of series. First 2 games of series, it was a 4-game set, and then coming back strong to win the next 2 games. They have to. Mm-hmm. They have to win the next 2 games versus the Royals.
Well, but here comes 2 righties. I mean, this was your game to win. Going up against a left-hander who is not great. Like, if this was Carlos Rodon and you had this outing, I'd get it. But again, it's just average to below average pitchers doing this to you just because they can control where they want to throw their pitches. And, I mean, that's not usually said for Daniel Lynch, and you could even see at moments he was overthrowing his fastball at this time. And Clark has the stat here. I was looking for it in my thing. But, yeah, it was, 12 and 21 in first games of the series this year. So
not getting your team ready to play.
Right.
I no wonder who that falls on.
I wonder who it does. I wonder what he was doing before the game tonight. Jaxo, $4.99 super chat. I like the move Hahn made today, and also all those players he signs will probably trade tomorrow for Soto or any left-handed bat. I don't know about Soto. And I don't know about a left-handed bat because I think that they are probably just really adamant on sticking with the offense that they have. But I do like the move that they made. I think it was a win-win for the Red Sox. I don't like the fact that they gave up Christian Vasquez. It feels like they're giving up on their team, and it's probably not good for Kyle Bloom and the clubhouse for the Red Sox. But if a need for both teams, and I like Deacon better than I like Tanner Banks, and that's exactly what I was praising or hoping the White Sox would do. But it's just one move, and there's less than, basically 18 hours? Until the deadline. I mean, Rick Hahn's probably going to have a very active next 18 hours for me to be happy with their deadline, and I don't think that's happening.
I think what's going to happen, you're going to have, like we had today, you're going to have the John Heymans, the Joel Shermans, the Bob Nightingales of the world report a deal. And then 5 minutes later, White Sox were also in that deal, but they didn't get the deal like we saw today. I'm tired of being like, that always happens when White Sox get second place. They send their minions out and they say, "Hey guys, White Sox are trying, guys." When they lost to Wheeler, his wife didn't want to come here. Offer them more then. Offer them more. Manny didn't want to come here. We offered him more than San Diego. Offer him more than that. Always losing, always in second place. And I was thinking, we were talking, me, you, and Stephen Nicholas, our producer, about when's the last time the White Sox acquired a good bat at the trade deadline. And I know you guys are going to say 05, and you're going to say Jeff Blum because he won that game. No. When's the last time they actually acquired a bat that was consequential in the second half at the trade deadline? When? I don't know. Last time I saw somebody right was Charles Johnson, the catcher. which wasn't really consequential.
I went a step further, and I said, when's the last time we made big trades? We brought up last year Craig Kimbrell. That was big at the time. It didn't work out. I went back 11 years to Jake Peavy. That was the last big splash I could remember that really got me excited at the deadline.
Yeah, and I mean, who they gave up? I mean, Clayton Richard, who had a fine career, and Aaron Pareda, who didn't make the major leagues. So, I mean, it's prospect hugging at this point. I don't understand what the Sox are doing. You need to improve this team.
And my guy Dave Barista and the White Sox Tom both say Aloy.
I mean, a buy
every year.
I'm
saying every year it's a nice pickup. And this year we're going to get Luis as a nice trade deadline pickup.
Hey, Aaron Bummer's coming back too. I can't answer that question because I have no idea. I don't think the White Sox have gone out and made an impact move at the deadline for a bat of that ilk. I mean, the only thing that we can think of is PV. Kimbrel is kind of a Hall of Famer-ish, but, he was going to be your 8th inning guy. It's not even like you're going out and getting an Aroldis Chapman level player for the Cubs in 2016. You're going out for a guy who's going to be your 8th inning guy. I don't know. And, Clark saying Sox acquire veteran slugger is probably the most terrifying headline possible. I remember the year that they picked up Manny Ramirez. They let the trade deadline go, and that was their big addition at the offseason was Manny was let go, and Soxwood was brought to, or Mannywood was brought to Chicago. And then, they acquired Ken Griffey Jr., but again, that's a veteran bat well past his prime.
I don't want to alarm you guys, but there was a guy who is a switch hitter, plays second base, that was DFA'd today. Do you know this guy's name?
A switch hitter?
Yeah.
I thought it was Robinson Cano.
Yeah, Robinson Cano.
He's a switch hitter.
He's a switch hitter.
He's a lefty.
No, I thought he's switch hitter.
No.
Okay.
That's just no, but I'm pretty sure he's only a lefty.
Okay, then he's a lefty. Robinson Cano.
I think I compared Moncada and Cano before, so maybe that's what you're just confusing.
So he's available.
He is available, but he sucks. Oh, that's your point. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank
okay,
you.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you for explaining to me because I was being real dense there and not getting what you were saying. That's on me, Herb. I think we have one more super chat. Do we? We got one. Oh yeah, no, that was it. Thanks, Jaxo, for all the messages. Yeah, I do like the Diekman move. I thought it was smart. And hey, Kevin Bryant coming in with a $10 super chat. How many times do the Sox have to prove they are 500 team before we start believing them? I believe them right now. Honestly, Kevin, tonight's enough for me. The fact that this is the 18th time for them being at 500, the fact that they got beat again by Daniel Lynch, I'm done. Honestly, 12-21 in their first games. They're playing into this. They're not giving themselves the advantage to stomp on throats. They are letting teams walk all over them. I mean, they should have had a rough game. They should have been panicked. Daniel Lynch wasn't panicked at all, being a spot starter for Brad Keller, who was then moved back to Tuesday, for what I saw from Alex Lewis of The Athletic. So I believe that they are a 500 team. I am fully in on them being a 81-81 team at this point. And I do have a bet that they would be in first place by August 12th. They're going to need to go on one hell of a run for that to happen, Herb.
Oh, they're going to have to kick some ass to get there. We're shaving your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you lose that one. So that's going to definitely happen because the White Sox are not getting to first place by August 12th. Sadly, this team is just mediocre to bad. Every single time we see them and we get some hope, winning at home versus the Oakland Athletics, like, okay, it wasn't awe-inspiring, but hey, we're back on track. We're only 2 games back because the Minnesota Twins sucked out there in San Diego. And then now we're back to 3 games back. And maybe tomorrow, Lucas Giolito has not been great this year. He might lose to Brad Keller as the White Sox do not play and pitch well or hit well versus Brad Keller as of late. I think they've given up or hit out against him is 4 runs in his whole career since his first start. Mm-hmm. It's not great.
Yeah. I mean, and this year too, I mean, he's had great outings. I think both going 7 innings. He did give up a homer to Leary in his last start in the G rate. And I think we were going through longest home runs in history of Guaranteed Rate Field. The one guy that did kill him was Yermin Mercedes, who had a 480-foot blast off him. But Yermin's not coming back for the Sox. Yeah, I don't have much left. We can wrap up on this.
And this is the thing, like that home run today by Sal Perez, that seemed farther than the home run that Jim Thome hit in the in the blackout game, and it looked farther than the one that Yermin hit last year versus Brad Keller. And you say that one that the Yermin hit is the longest in StatCast era, which is started 2015.
Yes. So
they need to recalibrate that thing.
452 for Perez's homer today, 462 for Aloy's blast that Vinny referenced off of Zimmerman in 2019, and 485 for Mercedes last year off Keller. That one went all the way to the left field concourse, their Mercedes one, so it went over 161 and then onto the concourse. The Perez one was to the right side of the fan deck. I'm pretty sure it hit off the stack up there.
It's elevated and deeper.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, and then but Aloy's I think hit very similar but to the left.
Yes.
So I don't know which one's farther, but hey, maybe that's what we have Vinny do is bring a very
tape
very
measure?
long tape measure.
Steven can go again. He has a tape measure 30 feet at a
Mine
time.
goes 90 feet at a time. It's going to be a little bit.
Let's trust the
25 feet at a time.
Let's trust the cameras. All right, Herb. We got a show tomorrow around 4 or 4:30. Make sure you're following at CHGO_sports because they put out our daily live schedule each and every day, and we will be live for some form of a trade deadline coverage tomorrow. I think we're going to try to do it at 4:30, so then we have a half hour after the deadline to recap stuff, and hopefully, the White Sox can win. Or not win, but hopefully the White Sox can get some players to help their team because they need to start winning because I can't do this any longer. But any final thoughts, Herb?
The White Sox are a very, very disappointing team that will win the AL Central still. I just want to go past where we are right now. Like I've referenced before, the movie Click. Can we just hit fast forward till we get to October when the White Sox are celebrating the AL Central Championship and they lose to a bullshit team in the ALDS or whatever they call the first round now?
Fast forward to Rick Hahn's parade?
I mean, it never happened.
That's when we're going to speak to him after the parade. You know, it's coming.
That's never going to happen.
Hey, at least we could skip through all the pain.
Do we have AL Central Championship parades?
We can. We can throw one. We could throw one in our alley. That
Hell,
you
the
on.
White Sox are not that good of a team to poo-poo a AL Central Championship.
Yeah.
They've only been to the playoffs, I think, only 10 times.
We'll see if they're able to win the division. I have no faith if they're not able to beat Daniel Lynch. But I also do see that disappointment is in for the chat here because I saw Charlie Blackmon's name pop up. I saw Ketel Marte's name pop up.
Yes.
And could you scroll up real quick, Steven?
I'm good for both.
I saw Cedric Mullins' name pop up.
That's not going to happen.
I'm fine with any of them. But
Cedric
Charlie
Mullins.
Blackmon's a lifetime Rocky. Ketel Marte's on a 5-year extension that they just signed and is kicking in next year. And good old Cedric Mullins, I'd be surprised if they traded him.
He's very young. He's having a
very good.
hard year, but not the year they had last year, but they're going to keep him.
Yeah, Mancini's a little bit older. I mean, this is only Mullins is actually true full second year. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would love any of those people, but I don't think any of those people are going to come to the White Sox. I see another minor move. I like the move for Reese McGuire, who's going to get DFA'd, and bringing in Jake Diekman, a guy that you need on this team. So if we could see another couple moves like that, like 3 or 4, we don't have to have any blockbuster moves because we know that's not going to happen. They don't have the people to do it. 3, 4 moves like that where the team is better than they are today and they actually have a lefty power bat or a lefty guy that can have some slug out there. Jock Peterson would be great. Let's go. Come on, Rick Hahn.
Yeah.
Call him up.
I mean, Jock's the one I would want. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if the Giants are even selling at this point. It seems like they might
They
be
should sell.
mumbling on Rodon and Jock, so we will see. I'm expecting Michael Givens, the White Sox, to acquire tomorrow. I am assuming they'll acquire another left-handed bat, but I think that might be it, and it might just be Givens. But
yeah, Dave,
we'll see.
If they were in any other division or realistic, they would sell off assets.
If they were in the AL East, you'd see Abreu be traded.
They would sell off assets. If I wouldn't mind if Rick Hahn said, you know what, we're not ready. This team is not ready. Let's sell some dudes off. Having these guys on a bad team is not worth it. Let's recalibrate. Let's retool like the Yankees did in 2016 or 17 and get back to it next year.
For that to happen, he needs to get that past the owner, and I don't think the owner wants to deal with that.
CFB, man. You got to be realistic. I would just say,
I think the White Sox
what's your job then, Rick Hahn?
The AL Central as much.
Chase the AL Central? That's just dumb. You got to be real with the owner.
His job was supposed to build. I mean, if he wants to be real with the owner, he should sit down, look at Jerry's face, and say, "I was supposed to build a juggernaut in the AL Central, and we are behind the Cleveland Guardians, who are spending $35 million, and we have the 7th biggest payroll in baseball.
And he'll
I
look
should
back
be
at
fired."
Yeah. But say he'll look back and he's like, That's you. You spent that shit, man.
Right. I mean,
I might have got the manager, but you spent all that money.
Yeah.
I gave you that check.
White Sox lose.
Yeah, we're bad.
Again.
It's just depressing shows. I hope you guys like them. I hope they're cathartic, though. You get through them. I see some people, they enjoy it. You know, at least it takes a little edge off the losses. And these people have been with us all the year long. I love Dave being with us. Clark awesome. Vadan, my mans.
Yeah.
Joe R.
And our guy Paul Correct, who's even busted my balls every time he can.
That's what Paul Correct does.
And I love him for it. All right, that's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox postgame show. Thank you to Vinnie Duber for joining us from Guaranteed Rate Field. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. You can follow Herb Lawrence on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. And you can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. We will talk to you, all of you, tomorrow. Again, 4:30 or 4 o'clock will be our live MLB trade deadline show, and we will have a postgame show for you as well. Again,
hi, White Sox Tom.
Herb Lawrence, I'm Sean. Thank you to Stephen Nicholas for his production, and thank you to Fleetwood Mac for their 1979 album, Tusk. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Go White Sox.